Okay, this lab is going to concentrate on the slope of a line. Sometimes the word grade is used, but for mathematical purposes, we're going to talk about slope. So the main thing to remember here is that the slope is going to be written with an M. And to get the slope, there's a formula. Now, the common saying is rise over run, or change in y over change in x. And basically, if you have 2 points and you take them as you come, if this is your first point and then this is your second point, you're going to take the difference of the y coordinates and it's going to be the second minus the first. And then all over the difference of the x coordinates. And again, second x coordinate minus first. So let's look at an example like that. So again, all of these are written up for you. So let's find the slope. Okay, so this is my first point, so I'm going to have x1, y1. This is my second point, that's going to be x2, y2. And so the slope is going to be the difference of the y's, and it's the second one minus the first one, divided by the difference of the x coordinates, the second one minus the first one. So it's going to be -6 minus 4, all divided by 2 minus -2. So in the numerator, we have -10. And in the denominator, we have 2 minus -2, which is 2 plus 2, which is going to be -10/4. But this is not a correct answer because it has not been reduced. Now, in the olden days, we had to do that by hand. So 10, I can rewrite that as 5 times 2, and 4 is 2 times 2, and so the 2's cancel, and so my slope is going to be -5/2. Now, you can reduce that in your calculator. You can get your calculator to do it for you. Let me get this up here on the screen. So if I have -10 divided by 4, and then press enter, then come up here to where it says the math button. Press math, and then press enter twice. Enter, enter. And you can see it gives me the fraction in its lowest form. So if you already have a fraction that's in reduced form or lowest form, and you do math enter, enter, there won't be any change. Okay, so 3/7, you can't reduce that, so it is 3/7. But this is how you can use your calculator to get it to reduce a fraction for you. Okay. Now, the next thing that's really important that a lot of students get wrong in these is the formula for a vertical line and a horizontal line. So this is a horizontal line, you can see it. And so for a horizontal line, the formula is y equals, and then where it goes through the y-axis. And you can tell from the grid here, it goes through the y-axis at 4. Now, a horizontal line has 0 slope. And you can check that. So the slope of a horizontal line is 0. You could check that. You could have any 2 points on this line. So if I take them from left to right, this is -1, 4, and this is 2, 4. And if I do the slope, it's going to be the difference in the y coordinates divided by the difference in the x coordinates. And so I'm going to get 0 in the numerator and 2 plus 1 in the denominator, and 0 divided by 3 is 0. So the slope is 0. Now, for a vertical line, any vertical line has the equation x equals, and it'll be a number, and the number is wherever it goes through on the x-axis. And the slope of a vertical line is undefined. Now, how do you see that? Take any 2 points on this vertical line. So this one is 4, 1. This one is 4, 2. And I'll take them from bottom to top. So the slope, so this is the first one, is going to be the difference in the y's, y minus 1 minus 2, divided by the difference in the x's, 4 minus 4. So I get -1 over 0. Any fraction that has 0 on the bottom is undefined, doesn't exist. Okay. All right, now let's see if we can, okay, if you look at this example, what kind of line is that going to be? Well, you could just, so example 2. I might. Okay, you could graph it if you wanted to, or you can just use the formula. The formula is, so this is the first point and the second point. It's going to be the difference in the y coordinates, the second one minus the first one, divided by the difference in the x coordinates, the second one minus the first x coordinate. So I'm going to have -14 over -4 plus 4, which is -14 over 0, which doesn't exist. The slope is undefined, and so this is a vertical line. And a vertical line has equation x equals, and what is the x coordinate on any point on a vertical line? They'll all have the same x coordinate. So if you were asked for that, you could also have graphed it. Where are the points -4, 7? There's -4, 7. And where's the point -4, -7? There it is. And when you graph that line, it is a vertical line. So all of these are consistent. This would have probably been the quickest way, but as soon as you get that, you should recognize you've actually got a vertical line there. And what else do we have? Let's find the slope of this line. Example 3. All right, now from your test 1 material, we have been given 2 points. What do you mean there are 2 points there? Yes, they are. Remember from functions, what we learned about functions in test 1, f evaluated at the x coordinate is equal to the y coordinate. So this tells me that the point with x coordinate -3 and y coordinate 8 is on the line. This tells me that the point with x coordinate 5 and y coordinate 8 is on the line. So the slope is going to be the difference in the y's divided by the difference in the x's. And that's 5 plus 3. And 0 divided by 8 is the number 0. So that is defined. This has slope 0. So we have a horizontal line. And remember, the equation of a horizontal line is y equals, and then where it comes into contact with the y-axis. And you can see the y coordinate, y equals the y coordinate. Every point on this line will have a y coordinate of 8. Or you could have graphed it. If I graph those 2 points, I have -3, 8 and 5, 8 are on the graph. And if I draw that line that connects those two, you get a horizontal line. So all of that is consistent. But to get the slope as it asked you to, that would have been the quickest way, just to do the M, identify your 2 points. Now, to get these 2 points, you had to remember that fact from our test 1 material. Okay, and a line with positive slope, when you move from left to right, it's going uphill. So as I move from left to right, that line has positive slope. If you moving from left to right, if you're going downhill, then your line has negative slope. If your line is horizontal, the slope is 0. If your line is vertical, the slope doesn't exist. It's undefined. And notice that that is not a function. It would not pass the vertical line test. So also, increasing functions have positive slope if they're linear functions, if they're lines. Decreasing functions have negative slope. If the slope is 0, that's called a constant function. Of course, this is not a function. Now, find the slope if you're given this graph. Well, find 2 points on here that are easy to identify. That one, there's a point. That's the point -2, 1. And there's a point there. And that's the point 5, -1. So it's going to be the difference in the y. So this is the first point. That's the second point. So -1 minus the y coordinate there, divided by the difference in the x's, 5 minus the x coordinate there. So I get -2 in the numerator. In the denominator, I get 5 plus 2, which is 7. So my slope is -2/7. And that makes sense because as we move left to right, that's going downhill. So that has negative slope. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for this one. And I will stop the video.